Hello everyone, and welcome back to another vegan and gluten-free recipe episode on this channel. Today we're heading to one of the most stunning places on earth, Scotland, to make this delightful Dundee cake. Special shout out to one of my subscribers, John Puntany, for recommending that I try out Dundee cake. There's 11 ingredients going into this vegan and gluten-free Dundee cake, and there's also 11 recipe steps. First, let's go through each of the 11 ingredients going into this Dundee cake one by one super quickly. There's 3/4 of a cup of this non-dairy plant butter warmed to room temperature, 1 cup of firmly packed light brown sugar, 3 large eggs, and I'll be using this vegan and gluten-free egg replacer powder to substitute for 3 regular eggs, 5 tablespoons of orange marmalade, 1.5 cups of gluten-free flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/3 of a cup of almond flour, 1 cup of brown raisins, I usually refer to these just as regular raisins, 1 cup of golden raisins, and finally 30 blanched almonds. Now that we've gone through the 11 ingredients for the Dundee cake, let's go through the 11 steps of the recipe. For step number 1, I'll prepare the 3 vegan eggs in a small bowl. And the way that the egg replacer powder works is for every egg that you're substituting, you scoop 1 tablespoon of the powder and you add in 2 tablespoons of water and mix those together. So I'll be using 3 tablespoons of the egg replacer powder and 6 tablespoons of water to substitute for the 3 regular eggs. For step number 2, I'll whisk together the non-dairy plant butter and the light brown sugar in a different bowl until that mixture is looking light and fluffy. For step number 3, I'll add the 3 vegan eggs and the orange marmalade into the bowl with the whisked plant butter and light brown sugar and mix all of that together. Step number 4 involves the dry ingredients in a separate bowl. I'll mix together the gluten-free flour, the almond flour, the baking powder, and the salt. For step number 5, I'll take the dry flour mixture and I'll throw it into the bowl with the wet ingredients. For step number 6, I'll mix in the regular raisins and the golden raisins. Step number 7 is when it starts to get really fun. I'll take the Dundee cake batter and I'll pour it into a greased and lined 8x3-inch round cake pan. Step number 8 is definitely the most fun step in my opinion. I'll be taking these 30 blanched almonds and designing the top of the cake. I'll be arranging these blanched almonds in the traditional pattern you see on top of Dundee cakes, which is concentric circles. To me at least, the pattern kind of looks like flower petals coming out of the center or a firework. For step number 9, I'll bake the cake in my oven at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for about 2 hours. For step number 10, I'll take the Dundee cake out of my oven and let it cool for about 20 minutes. And then for the final step, which is step number 11, I'll show you the final beautiful Dundee cake. I'll cut myself a slice and let you know what I think. I've linked the recipe below in case you'd like to follow along and make some of this cake yourself. The recipe I'm following is courtesy of the Daring Gourmet. I've never actually used a recipe from this website before, so I'm very excited to try it out and see what this cake tastes like. And with that, let's get started making this delightful Dundee cake. I'll begin by making those 3 replacement eggs. my goodness, how cute, how pretty is this Dundee cake? I'm so charmed by the toasted blanched almonds on the top. I love it as a finishing piece on this cake. I'm seeing so many delicious raisins and sultanas in here. And I love the crispiness of the exterior. It looks a little underdone in the middle, but honestly, I'm not super picky. I just love the color of this. I do love fruit in my desserts. And honestly, I have grown into raisins in adulthood. As a kid, I just hated them in anything. Now they are really nice to have, especially in pastry items. Finally, I'm getting to see what Dundee cake tastes like. So let's dig right in. Crunchy on top, gooey in the middle. Oops, lost my almond. Ooh, I love this. I really have become a huge fan of fruitcake in adulthood. I've definitely had my fair share of German fruitcake or Stollen over the years, but I don't think I've ever had anything with this many raisins in it, and it makes the cake so moist. I'm definitely getting the brown sugar. I can taste a little bit of the molasses in the brown sugar. I love this. I could honestly eat like half of this cake. I'm not going to because that would not be great for my health, but it is so delicious. I love this cake. I really would love to make this again around Christmas time. You might have noticed it did sink a little bit in the middle. I think I would add a 2 teaspoon of baking powder to help the batter rise a bit more in the cake pan. But overall, I think the appearance is really nice. The finishing browning on the exterior is great, and the interior is so chewy and sweet and just full of flavor. I hope you enjoyed watching this Dundee cake recipe episode. Maybe you haven't had this cake vegan or gluten-free before, so hopefully you learned something new or found this entertaining. If you like this recipe episode, leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought, and if you have any suggestions for future recipes, definitely drop those suggestions as well. If you're interested in some more vegan and gluten-free dessert recipes, I've linked a couple at the very end of this video. One of them is for mini date brownies, and the other one is a triple chocolate celebration cake that I made for my 500 subscriber special. I think you'll enjoy those dessert ideas, so definitely check out both of those videos. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode, and thank you once again to John Puntany for putting Dundee cake on my radar. Take care, everybody, eat well, and I will see you in the next episode on this channel. Bye!